Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by green fields and tall trees, there lived a boy named David. David was a simple boy, kind, hardworking, and full of dreams. But deep inside, he carried a heavy burden, his past. David had lost his parents when he was just 10 years old. Since then, life had been hard. He worked in the fields, helped old farmers, and sometimes even slept hungry. But what hurt him the most was not hunger, it was the pain of his past. Every time he tried to do something new, a voice inside whispered, "You can't do this. You're just a poor boy. You're not meant for big things." David believed that voice. He stopped trying. He stopped dreaming. He just existed. One evening, as the sun was setting behind the hills, David was walking back from the fields. He saw an old man sitting near the village school, a man everyone respected. His name was Sir Samuel, the village teacher. Sir Samuel called out, "Oh, David, come here, my boy." David smiled shyly and went near. Sir Samuel asked, "Why do you look so tired, David? Is it the work or your thoughts?" David looked down and said, "Sir, it's my life. Nothing ever changes for me. I try, but my past follows me everywhere." Sir Samuel looked at him with kind eyes and said, Maybe it's time to teach you something that no school can teach." The next morning, Sir Samuel gave David a large clay pot filled with water and said, "Carry this pot to the top of the hill and bring it back." David lifted the pot and started walking up the steep hill. The sun was hot, his feet hurt, but he didn't stop. When he reached the top, he was sweating and breathing heavily. Sir Samuel asked, "Now bring it down." While coming down, David slipped a little. The pot broke and all the water spilled out. David was scared. "Sir, I'm sorry, I broke it." But Sir Samuel smiled and said, "It's okay. Tell me, David, what did you learn?" David thought for a moment and said, "I should be more careful next time." Sir Samuel laughed softly. "That's not the only lesson, my boy. The real lesson is, when the pot broke, the water was gone. You didn't try to carry the broken pieces, did you?" David shook his head. "No, sir. It was too heavy and useless." Sir Samuel nodded. "Exactly. Then why are you still carrying the broken pieces of your past in your heart?" David looked shocked. For the first time, he understood what Sir Samuel was trying to say. That night, David couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Sir Samuel's words. Why are you carrying the broken pieces of your past? He realized that he had been blaming his life, his losses, and his pain for everything. But in truth, it was his fear that was stopping him, not his past. The next morning, David decided to change. He started waking up early. He worked harder in the fields, studied at night, and learned everything Sir Samuel taught him: reading, writing, and even mathematics. Slowly, things began to change. One day, some men from the nearby town came to the village. They were looking for young workers who could help them in the town's new school. David wanted to go, but again that old voice whispered, You're just a poor village boy, you can't do it." He sat under the same tree near the school, silent and scared. Sir Samuel came and asked, "Why aren't you applying, David?" David said softly, "Sir, what if I fail?" Sir Samuel smiled and placed his hand on David's shoulder. "My son, the only time we truly fail is when we refuse to try. Remember, the river never stops flowing because of a rock. It just finds a new path." Those words filled David with courage. He decided to try. David got selected for the job. It wasn't easy. He had to walk miles to reach the town. He worked as a helper in the school during the day and studied during the night. He faced struggles, hunger, and loneliness. But this time he didn't complain. He had learned that carrying his past would only make his journey heavier. Years passed. David worked hard, saved money, and continued learning. And one day found the same poor village boy who once feared his past and became a teacher. Many years later, David returned to his village, not as a worker, but as a respected man. The same people who once called him Poor David now stood up to greet him with respect. He went straight to Sir Samuel's house. The old man was sitting under the same tree, now weak and gray. David knelt beside him and said, "Sir, your words changed my life." Sir Samuel smiled and said, "No, David, it was not my words. It was your decision to stop carrying your past that changed everything." Both smiled. The air was calm, the fields were green, and in that moment, David realized the true meaning of peace. Don't carry your past, learn from it, because the moment you let go, you become free to fly. Remember, the weight of your past will only stop you from reaching your future. So today, make a promise to yourself. You will no longer carry what's broken. You will no longer live in regret. You will move forward with courage, hope, and strength. Because just like David, you too can rise, you too can shine once you stop carrying your past.